Hello everyone, this is Patrick, and I want to thank you for subscribing and also liking the videos. In this video, I'm going to talk about statement of purpose. Okay, it is also one of the important documents you need for your graduate school application. In this video, I'm going to give an overview of what should be in your statement of purpose, and then I'll do another case study on that. Okay. So, first of all, this statement of purpose should be given much attention. Yeah, over the years, sometimes we become late, so we rush to write it. But I realize that it is important to give it time, in as much as we give the other documents time. We're also supposed to give statement of purpose also time. Yeah, and it makes sense because they do a holistic review of all the applications before they give you the funding or the scholarship. So they check the CV, they check transcript and everything, and they check the statement of purpose before they give you the funding. Okay. In as much as we say that first class gives upper hand, or CV, good CV gives upper hand, there is a place also for the statement of purpose. Okay. So let's go into it. All right. So the statement of purpose is a story. Remember that it is a story. It is a story about what? It is a story about yourself. Okay? So look at where you are now. Maybe you are just a graduate of bachelor's degree, or you are just a graduate of master's degree. So where you are now, there is a story which involves your social life, which involves your academic life, which involves your professional life or your job life, which involves your emotional life, extracurricular life. All right. Now, these are things you may have to put them into words for your statement of purpose. All right. So, when you have a statement of purpose to write, it is important to start with a hook. You have to start with a very intriguing and enticing hook. If you are in the electrical engineering field, for example, it can be a hook how you got interested in that electrical engineering field. When you were young, what happened? Maybe you were even connecting wires at home, and then your daddy told you, oh, you must be a very good electrician in the future, something like that. Maybe there was a light out and it spurred up some interest in you. So it should mostly start from when you were young. Okay, not necessarily when you were young, but it should be something that sparked your interest. First of all, before even going to the university to study that program. All right? Sometimes it can even spring up in the SHS or in the primary school. But whichever way, make sure there is a hook discussing that. Very, very important. Sometimes you can buttress the hook with a quote from a popular philosophist or a popular scientist or a popular researcher in your field. Yeah, you can buttress it with a quote like that, or you can even start with a quote. I mean, any hook, anything that catches attention from the start. Okay, it is very important. The next thing you have to discuss is to find a challenge in your field. If it is a mining field, find a challenge in your field and discuss it. So, what is the advice? The advice I give is that you can visit papers or publish papers on Google Scholar or any website. A paper that has been published in your field. Computer science, mathematics, agric, economics, right? And yes, what have you? So these fields, look for a paper that has been published on it. And mostly in the papers, they write challenges and then they give solution to the challenges and they give their methodology and they give results and discussions. All right. So when you see the writing of the papers, you come across some challenges, worldwide challenges. All right. But the challenge should start from where you are. It should start from if you are from Ghana, it should start from Ghana. If you are from Accra, it should start from Accra. If you are from Seshua Kontombra, it should start from there. If you are from Takwa, it should start from there. All right? It should start from your city, your town where you were born. If you are from Nigeria, it should start from there. If you are from any part of the world in Asia, it should start from your country. All right? So the problem should be from your country, and then you now open it wide, okay, to the world. All right. For example, you can say that because I'm from a mining community, I witnessed how that the mining activities affected the water bodies in my community. And this has been an issue all over Ghana. And even it is proving, according to research, that this issue is a challenge, even global, something like that. All right. And this challenge is what we can say that it is giving you interest in that program. So this challenge is sparking you to study that program, giving you that motivation or enthusiasm to study that program. All right, so it is important to mention it. Sometimes we don't want to see how you got interested emotionally when you were young. We want to also see that there is a particular challenge in your field that you aim to solve or you aim to help contribute to its solution after you finish the program. That is very important. And because of that, it is good to identify a challenge like that in your field. Then now the next thing is to talk about your bachelor's education. Because we are saying that there's a challenge that is sparking your interest to study for a specific master's or PhD program. So now I want to tell them, okay, because of that, because I have this interest, I have even already obtained my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering or in accounting. All right? And then you start to talk about your bachelor's degrees or bachelor's education. All right? And that is where you can talk about the courses you did and how that they are related to the program you are about to apply. Now, it is important because those who do the selections, whether scholarship, Erasmus, DAD, MasterCard, or even graduate assistantships, or even the US or Canada, you want to check to see if the courses you did in your undergrad actually relate to the course you want to come and do or to the program you want to apply for. Very important, because it is in there that they want to see, that they will see that you have a background or fundamental knowledge in that field so you can do a very good research. All right. It is important to also know that that is actually what attracts funding, especially when you are in the field. So you don't really see people who switch getting funding like that. It is possible to get funding, but how many are they? All right. Okay. So if you don't switch, you have a high probability of getting funding than when you switch. You can switch, you can get funding, but it is good to stay in your field so you increase your chances of getting funding. It also helps you because you have the knowledge to do some research. All right. So you can talk about some courses you did in your undergrad, and then you can also mention some research works you did. You remember, if you check the first video on CV, we mentioned that there is the need for you to mention the mini research works you did in school. And because of that, here in this phase of the SOP, you have to add that. You have to talk about the mini research work you did. And then you also have to talk about your final year thesis work. You have to talk about it. Okay? Talk about some professional courses you did or some lab works you did. Yeah, it's okay. Talk about that. Now, the next thing to talk about is to talk about extracurricular activities when you are in school. Remember, we said we are now discussing our bachelor's studies or bachelor's degree. So during your bachelor's degree, like 4 years, 5 years, you did some extracurricular activities. The leadership positions you took, and you were also a member of some organizations. You helped with some other social things. You have to mention all of them, state them briefly, all right? And then when you state them, state how these things improved you or these activities affected you positively. You have to state it. You also have to show how that even after doing all these extracurricular activities, you still graduated with a very good grade. All right. So if you graduated with the first class, second class, upper, second class, lower, it's okay. Just make sure and tell them that despite all your extracurricular activities, you still graduated with this class. Here, it is also important to mention why maybe you had a lower grade. So if your second class lower, you are not happy with it. Or even if your first class, it was a lower first class. Remember, we have that. Or if the second class is a lower second class, like not good second class, you can explain why it was so. You can mention that maybe at a point you had some emotional stress from home. maybe you fell sick, or maybe COVID, or some issues. Maybe you were not too focused, a lot of activities, you lost a family member. Just mention it, okay? And state that it is the reason why maybe you dropped in your CWA or your GPA. Just make sure it is mentioned. So it is in this phase of the SOP you may have to mention. In this phase, you may also have to mention some awards or honors you got in school. Okay, remember that. So after that, then you come and talk about your professional experience, like your job life. Okay, and this is where you have to go into details on your work experience, maybe the internships you did over the 4 years, and also the after school, all right, after undergrad, the work that you did. Maybe you worked in a company or in an industry. You worked as also a teaching assistant in your school. Just mention it. Mention the internship, the place. And one thing to also do, be more specific. Mention places, mention dates, okay, like years. Mention, just mention names of the companies and all. And also add your duties, the duties you perform during those working times, all right? So in your national service, make sure it is not, remember, we have already established in the CV that we don't have to say it's national service. Say, give it a proper name. And then now discuss your duties that you did and how the duties helped you, and also the outcome of your duties to the company. Okay, maybe because of you, the company increased its economic growth. Because of you, there was a change. Because of you, there was a good resource, okay, for developing the company. So some of these things you may have to mention. So now after these, then you can now talk about the department you are applying into. Okay, so praise the department, mention that they do research, they do global research, and the research are of good concern. So remember that we do not have to focus on the school. We have to focus on the department. Okay, this is where most of the people might not. See, but it is important to focus on the department. Don't focus on the school. So it will interest you to know that when you apply for a program, it doesn't go to the school. It comes directly to the program. Okay, or it comes directly to the department. All right. So it is very important to talk about the department and leave the school. I'll explain later. I have a reason for that. Okay, focus on the department. Talk about the department. All right, just talk about the department. And it is also in this phase of the SOP that you can talk about the professors whose research interest align with yours, that you want to work with them. All right, you may have to mention their names. All right, sometimes you can write something brief about them. Yeah, just mention their names. And then what again? You can just talk about. Remember, we've talked about honors and awards and all. Then you can just talk about your career goal. Yeah, make sure you have a clear career path, career goal, what you want to do and what you want to be after school. Maybe 10 years after school, maybe 5 years after school, like just a career goal, a long-term career goal that you want. You can even talk about short-term career goal, it depends. If you are doing masters, you can tell them that your short-term is right after masters, you pursue PhD. And then after PhD, you talk about the work you want to do, all right? But make sure that you have talked about your career goals, and then you can conclude, and then that should be the end of your statement of purpose. Now somebody may ask, how about personal statement? For me, I train my people, I coach my people to write the same info for statement of purpose and personal statement. That's what we write. The only time we don't is when the school gives us guidelines for the personal statement. When the school gives us specific guidelines on their website for the personal statement, then we follow what the school gives. But if they don't, what we write for statement of purpose is what you write for personal statement. After all, the statement of purpose is about yourself, is your purpose, is about yourself. So it's the same. All right. All right. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. Put in the comment section. And if you are on the WhatsApp page, you can also put there, and then we will address. Any information, I'll give back again. I'll do a video on it again, and then I'll still be on the page for tips and strategies. Thank you, and have a nice day.